Hi, ladies.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
I am so well, thank you. So I am Xaba, and welcome to East Coast Radio. I want you guys to introduce yourselves and tell us, obviously, which niche you actually fall under, whether lifestyle, fashion, beauty, travel.
Yeah.
You'll let us know what you do, but welcome to the Circle of Influence.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Shab, let's start this side.
Okay, so I'm Shan Fourie. I am a lifestyle influencer, content creator, but travel, beauty, home, decor, everything inspires me. So my page is not just purely like any one stream. I speak about everything that I love. Wellness ambassador for Gateway.
Drop them all.
And yeah, ambassador for the SA Bone Marrow Registry and for the Rise Up Movement, which is a non-profit organization which focuses on human trafficking, child abuse, and gender-based violence.
Incredible. There's something you're missing out.
Yeah, she's always missing that
There's
one.
this one thing that's really huge. You should have worn your sash.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And I am currently in the Mrs. South Africa in the top 30 final.
Congratulations and all the best.
Thank you, T.
Let's go down the side, babe.
So I am Valencia Naidoo. Most of you know me as Style Your Confidence Now on social media, and I am mainly fashion and beauty. But a lot of my content is to inspire young girls when it comes to self-love and confidence. So that's a big part of my content. Yeah, that's what I do.
Love it for you. Yes, girl.
Now I'm so nervous.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I feel like you just got to my side.
Say it, girl.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lindiwe Dube. I am a content creator. I wouldn't really say influencer yet, but I am a content creator for Gateway, Home and Decor. And I'm also a film and television student, so I also create content in that avenue. And yeah, I'm just here and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Last but not least.
Hi everyone, I'm Andi from Mbhele. You probably know me as Andi Mbhele on Instagram. I am a finance, fashion as well as beauty influencer. I'm also an entrepreneur and born and bred in KZN Durban. Yeah.
Exciting. Alrighty, should I introduce myself?
Yeah.
Guys. So I'm Xaba. I'm an East Coast radio presenter. I am a content creator and influencer. I am the ambassador for Gateway Entertainment. What else do? I twerk. I'm joking. I don't twerk. I don't do that. But thank you so much for coming through. And let's get into it, right? Yeah. Obviously, the big question on everyone's mind, or like everyone's mouth, is what is an influencer?
Yeah.
Like what are you influencing us to do if you are even influencing us?
Yeah.
So what is an influencer?
I think on my side, if I had to digest influencer and content creator, those two are different avenues.
things.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, an influencer is someone that's kind of like everyone respects their opinion in society. Like you can tweet something and then all of a sudden people just follow, like like sheep, you could say.
Are you calling people sheep?
No, I'm not. That's just an example.
Okay, now I get you.
And then as a content creator, you are the person that creates the content that's behind the art itself. And you put in your own ideas and you actually create your own piece of artwork that you share, whichever avenue like you do it. Like right now we're doing a podcast, that's content creating. Literally. But influencing is something totally different in my eyes. I don't know.
I feel it's the same. And the reason why I say that is
Wait, what's the same?
content creation, being a content creator and an influencer.
Okay.
Because, what is an influencer?
Okay.
And I think anybody can be an influencer. Like my gran can get something for her kitchen and she'll influence me to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Will she?
So yeah. If it's something that I really like, and if it's something that I think is good to have in my kitchen, she's influenced me. So I think that's where that name comes from. And a content creator, obviously putting all of their creativity into whatever they are showing you on their social media. For example, if it's a lipstick that they're creating content for, and I'm like, wow, this is beautiful content, but also it looked really good on her, and she told me what are the benefits of it. I think I'm going to go and get it.
Yeah,
so
there is a silver lining,
so I feel like anybody can be an influencer, but now it's given like a career path.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like more of a professional level, you can say. But anybody can be an influencer. but obviously, like I'm saying, it is now become like a career.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I slightly differ with you, Valencia, because for me, I don't think someone can wake up and just be an influencer. I think it's something organic. For example, let's say I've got a lotion that I'm using, and then I'm like, guys, I love this lotion. It helps me with dry skin, blah, 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 blah. And then some people will catch on, some won't. But then in terms of content creation, I can wake up and say, okay, now I want to make content. I want to create content. And brands can obviously, gravitate towards me and say, we want you to create content for A, B, C, and D. But you can't, not everyone can call themselves influencers.
I get that. But what I'm trying to say is that anybody can be an influencer. We've been influenced by people before influencers were in. You know what I'm saying? But you're right about that. Not everybody can be. And the influencers that we're talking about right now, the professional influencers.
Oh, so there's there's a difference.
What I'm trying to say is that
Hey,
anybody can be an influencer. Like
All
what I'm
right.
saying, you don't have to be on social media to influence somebody. We all have influence on each other. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But coming to the level of what we're talking about now,
Okay.
actual influencers, not everybody can
Got
do
it.
that. And I
Okay.
agree in that because not everybody's cut out to do that. As much as there's a lot of fly-by-nights, a lot of people that think they can wake up and be an influencer.
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting
It's all
to.
about the clout for them and not about the hard work and the real work that actually goes into it.
To
Because it is
content
work.
creating, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes,
Or
okay.
even an influencer,
This is where I'm now wanting clarity.
Right.
So there's fly-by-nights in your words, and then there's professional influencers, and then I'm sure it's just the gray area, the ones who don't know where they.
Yeah.
In your opinion, Shan, what is the difference? What makes you a fly-by-night? What actually qualifies you to be a professional influencer besides getting a videographer?
Yeah.
Or having an iPhone.
just saying, or having an iPhone. There we go.
Yeah. Well, look, I think to a large degree, I do agree with Valencia on the fact that we all have influence in us.
Yes.
I don't think everyone who has influence or is an influencer even has content creation skills. They could get up, put a video up of themselves talking about X, Y, and Z, whatever it might be. They could be very big on speaking on politics, for instance, which is something that I don't speak to. And they are influencing people in that
own
way.
right.
But they are not content creators. But where the difference, the fly-by-nights, in my opinion, I think they are, the odd person who's maybe landed up on a reality TV show and they have now become an overnight success, or someone who's become an overnight personality.
With all of this audience
With
now.
a
Shots
big
fired!
audience.
Shan had
But
to.
I'm not,
I'm here for it. No, don't tap me a five.
but I have nothing against. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Everyone's success is wonderful. But those, in my opinion, would not be influencers. They're more public figures.
Yes, socialites.
Socialites.
And those are the people, to my eyes, are influencers in the game, because they've reached a point now where they're on a reality show. Now people are watching them, and then brands get confused by them sending them a product and them advertising it, but not the best way that we could as content creators.
Here's where it's sort of gray for me, and you guys can let me know, right? You're on a reality show. I'm not going to mention any reality show. You have loads of money.
Yes.
You can afford to buy Louis Vuitton,
Yes.
Gucci,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and then I invite you, and I'm a tease tuck shop, and you think the followers of that person, are they really going to believe that this particular person who's a socialite
When
goes
it
to
doesn't
tease
even
tuck shop?
align with their brand itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the mistake.
Anyway, let's.
Brand alignment.
And if I can just interject as well, I think it's important because we've gone through a growth
Process.
Yeah.
where we've all started with taking on trade exchange work
Yes.
and learning
Yes.
and figuring out who we are and our voices and how we fit into the space and what we want to represent out there. And that's been a long journey for each of us. I know for myself, over the last 5 years, I've developed my character personally and the person that I want to represent online, and gone through all of the working with certain brands that maybe don't make me feel like this is aligned to me, and got to a place where I've grown enough to say, thank you so much for
No
the
to certain-
opportunity, but no, that
yes.
doesn't align with me and my
Yes.
brand. Where other opportunities might come for certain individuals and they haven't reached that place yet.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of brands, do you want to say something before
no, I
I
was going to
continue?
say, just on Shan's notes,
Yeah.
your audience has also grown with you too.
Yes.
Unlike people who just become popular all of a sudden. I mean,
Yeah.
your audience is still trying to figure you out and what type of, brand alignment you
Yeah.
have for yourself. So that's where the difference is.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of brands, Shan, do you feel, I'm just speaking about now in terms of how they pick their influencers or who they work with, do you think there's inclusion? Whether it's different races, whether it is number of followers, whether it's because you really have authentic content. Do you feel like people who need to be included are actually included by brands?
After Shan answers this, I have a lot to say.
Okay, let's give it to you. Let's give it to you.
So I feel like there is, we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go.
Okay.
I'm going to speak about Durban because obviously I'm from here.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is still a lot more that needs to be done when it comes to inclusion, in terms of race. I feel like I have been left out from a lot of events that has happened here in Durban, a lot of campaigns even. I'm not saying that I'm the only Indian person, and I'm not only speaking for myself. I speak for other Indian influencers who I know of, who I could see is on the same level as me when it comes to professionalism, with their good work ethic and the type of content that they put out there. But they've also been left out from certain events and certain things that actually happens for influencers.
Yeah.
So I still feel like there's a lot that needs to be addressed when it comes to that. And then when you talk about numbers, as well, it's either the very high numbers that are getting invited to events or are considered as influencers, and the ones that are probably not even in the 20,000 yet, but has way better work ethic
And the quality of the
direction
work.
and
Yeah.
direction actually gets left out. So I feel like we still have a long way to go, and whoever is sitting at the table of decision makings have a lot to consider when they are making this. I mean, there's a lot of mistakes that have happened over this last 2 years.
Yeah.
Not just in the Indian community, but also in the Black community. Like when there were adverts in certain stores, and then,
Yes.
what is the process before you check things before they go out there? We're part of a rainbow nation, and it's not a mistake that should be made, because we have all of these beautiful colors and races that we should be taking into consideration, because this is what we come from, and that there should be no room for mistakes when it comes to that. So I feel like South Africa should be like the benchmark when it comes to inclusion and correct representation and diversity, because we have been so diverse all these years. So yeah, I feel like,
Have you had a personal experience where you felt you could say, okay, this one I was not invited because of my race. This one I was not invited because of my followers. This one I was not invited because I just feel like someone at the top doesn't like me.
so there was an event that happened a few years ago, and it happened here in Durban. And there was not one Durban Indian influencer invited. Now, I do not know whether it was
Now
a
I'm
race
trying to be
thing.
like,
Which event was this?
was it a big event? Like,
It was a big
was
event,
it a brand?
So it was a big event. It was a big brand, a big event. But I must say they have improved. So they learned from this mistake.
Okay.
So so there was no Durban Indian influencers, and I don't know whether it was a race thing. I don't know whether they just never realized it and it just went past their heads
Went
or
through the
what
cracks,
it
yeah.
was. But we're trying to be living in a world that's more inclusive. So I think all of these boxes need to be ticked before you go live with anything, before you make any other decisions. So I can't tell you whether it was somebody at the top who didn't want me there or whatever the
but
case
it
may be.
felt personal.
Yeah.
I can sort of relate, not even sort of relate. I can relate to that one because for the longest time, and I think I still go through it now, obviously, like I'm pushing really hard. I'm inserting myself in different things. But I've had a situation where I'm like, I look at the group of girls and I'm just like, my content represents the girl next door.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like T, because I'm shame. And I look at these brands, I'm like, beautiful, skinny, tall,
Yeah.
curvy.
Yes.
What about me?
I'm like, where's the one who's representing T? Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's what I've struggled with. I don't know if any one of you have struggled
I
with that as
definitely
well.
get you.
Yeah.
I definitely get you. I feel as though brands look more to people that are popular.
Yeah.
I think they want to always take the same people.
Eesh.
And adding on to what Valencia said, I feel as though as a whole, Durban influencers are just not taken seriously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
I feel as though whenever there's events, for example, both in Durban and Joburg and maybe Cape Town,
yeah.
you'll find that the event in Joburg and the event in Cape Town
It's the
is
same.
way better
Yeah.
than the event
And
in
what they do
Durban.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here, you might
Yes.
find that maybe influencers are getting packages, they're getting gifts, they're getting this and that, they're getting paid. Durban, nothing.
No.
Yeah.
So I feel as though as a city, we still have a very, very long way to go,
Yeah.
like,
100%.
as a whole.
Yeah.
So I feel as though there's a lot of discrimination that happens within the space and numbers as well. I feel as
Yes.
though
They consider the
brands
numbers.
kind of translate high numbers to amazing work, whereas
Yeah.
sometimes that is not the case.
Yes,
There's
for
people
sure.
that don't have high numbers, but they put in the most
Yes.
amazing work, the most amazing work that you could ever see. So I feel as though that still needs a lot of work.
Yes.
And I also feel like, speaking on Andy's notes, is that a lot of people in Durban, especially the influencers, are not as respected as DJs are. As
Me, I'm a DJ.
No, I'm just saying that normally
Okay.
for these events,
Yeah.
they would invite, artists, DJs, people that are well known in the Durban scene more than the actual content creators and the
Or the
influencers who are
influencers,
actually dedicated to the actual work.
Speaking to that, so is that a Durban thing or is it an influencer thing?
I think it's a Durban thing, if I'm being honest with you, because you don't see this happening in Johannesburg.
Or in Cape
Everyone
Town,
stays in
yeah.
their lane. Yeah, but here it's just a mixture. It's like, we're gonna invite DJ so and so because he's got this much influences and this much followers.
Followers,
And it's like, okay, so now you respect this guy more than the girl that's got this how much followers. That's trying to work something out for themselves.
Okay, could it be because the reason why maybe influencers are not taken seriously? So with this podcast, the reason why we're doing it, right, is because influencers are considered shallow, fickle, airheads. It's a fake job. You're hiding behind your man's money. You're not even hiding behind your man's money. You are doing things on Instagram that you shouldn't be doing to get that money. Could that be the reason why?
T, you just hit specific spots. T.
Could it be why we are overlooked as opposed to a socialite who clearly is living la vida loca and they actually have something else going? Could that be the reason why we're so undermined?
It
Okay.
could be
Yeah.
a part of it.
Let's say that was so, right?
Yeah.
I find it unfair that people paint all of us
With the same
same
brush.
brush.
Yeah.
For sure.
Ish.
I feel as though you can't do that. I feel as though even if you hear certain things that are of that nature, you can't now say every single influencer's
It's the
shallow.
same.
Every single influencer's fake. Influencers are like literally they learn it. Honestly speaking,
Yes.
a lot of them have degrees. A lot of them, know what they're doing,
Hardworking.
and they're still studying further. So I feel as though that is not reason
case,
enough
yeah.
to say
Yeah.
that we are shallow, and reason enough to treat us a certain way.
Yeah.
Because
Are we
remember,
shallow?
No,
No,
not everybody.
There we go. That's
Not
what I was-
everybody.
Yeah,
there
not
is-
everyone.
There is the one or two.
Yeah.
But that's why the whole fly by night thing came in, because not everybody's cut out for this.
Yeah.
You're doing it because of the clout, or you're doing it because you want that recognition, or you see through social media that this person has this amazing life. I can have it too. But I feel like we all have the power to make our own decisions.
Yeah.
So if you're seeing somebody that you feel is an airhead or a slay queen or whatever the
What if
case
they're
may
just
be,
naturally an airhead? So it has nothing to do with being an influencer.
it's your decision who you want to follow. It's your decision who you want to give your time of day to.
Yeah.
Because we are all not the same.
But that's why also people get it confused, because I've had a lot of young girls come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, I want to live like this person's life or your life. And I'm like, it's
don't
not
even
like
know,
that.
yes,
Yeah. you're not gonna live life because just someone is traveling like every single week. They're going to Cape Town or going to this. You're not understanding the actual content creation, but you're calling it influencing just because someone is traveling 24/7 to go see their man or just living their life.
Is it personal? What you are saying? What does this have to do with you? Why does it sound so close to home?
That's the thing, though. We see these things happening on social media, but not every influencer's life's like that. Like that person may be going to Cape Town every other week because they have
we are home.
Yes.
I think it's very important to note that not every day people live like that.
Yes.
I show the 30% of my life that is
there
amazing.
we go.
I'm not
It's
going
not
to
a
show
soft
you.
life. It's a soft day.
Thank you. I'm going to show you the day whereby I'm happy. I feel as though life is going great. Okay, take a video. But then the times at which where life is not going amazing, I'm not going to show you that part. So
But why?
I don't know.
That's where young girls get lost, especially if they're trying to enter the space because they're just seeing soft life, soft everything.
Yes.
I want this life, not realizing that it's actual,
not
it's not an everyday thing. Yeah.
So I'm also a Dove ambassador. So I worked with Dove when I first got into the scene. And one of their main things is to basically help young girls build their confidence, self-esteem, body self-esteem, but also to be real. And so that is why for me, when it comes to my content, I don't always want to show the happy moments. So you'll see me on my stories talking about certain things, and sometimes I'm without my makeup, sometimes I'm with. So I think also, as much as we are trying to figure out what influencers are, what this is all about, I think it's important for those who are real to go onto their platforms and show some of their bad days, show their real side, in order for us to be able to like eradicate all of the bad that people are trying to say about influencers or to just show the happy moments and the highlights of their lives, because we are real people too.
But that's the thing now. Is it a safe space to do that?
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
The scrutiny is way too high.
Yeah.
So how do you?
But
do you know what I'm saying, Shan? Like, how do you balance being vulnerable and
as
showing that
authentic
you're a
as you
real
can.
person, but also to this audience that can turn on you like this?
Yeah.
And I know you know about people turning on you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, look, I think it's very delicate balance. I think what I've learned now is I go through my hard stuff, but I'd prefer to go through that and then come back when I'm stronger or through it and then talk about it, rather than being very emotional
in
on
that
the
moment.
platform in that moment, maybe saying things that are coming more from emotion. Go through it, learn the lesson, share if it's something that I feel like my community could benefit from. I mean, there's so many things in my life recently that have happened that I haven't shared online. And I've had people come into my DMs saying, hey, can I ask you, why you moved your daughter from this school to that school or schools? I have my personal reasons for that. It's not something I want to share. Where people, a lot of the time, think that there's an expectation that I should just share everything.
I was about to say, like, when
There's a line.
when you
There has
share
to be a line.
yourself on social media, well, people assume that they know you so much they feel entitled to your business.
Yes.
So how do you now that fine line? How do you maneuver around
need to
it?
create that line,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to share
Boundaries.
everything, but I mean, there are certain things, like we were talking about the young girls, like. You said also that you come back and you do share some of things, and I think that's important to share that real part, like letting young girls know it's okay not to be wearing makeup every single day, because we're not wearing makeup every single day, or just come on there and talk about like real stuff that may have happened with you, but I'm not saying expose your entire personal life, because there's so many things that have happened in my life from the time I started this whole influencing thing that I've not shared yet with my influencers, which I am waiting to share.
What exactly are you waiting for? Like,
Maybe till she's fully healed.
Yeah,
are you
exactly.
healing?
Till I'm fully
Are you
healed,
just
or
waiting
until
for-
I'm ready and things are like properly done? So there are obviously some personal things, like you do not want to share things about your kids or about your marriage or whatever the case may be. But in terms of being real, like, hey guys, I flew to Cape Town because Dove flew me to Cape Town. Not my own cost, not my blesser.
Yeah.
So like things like that. So I know personally as an influencer, I've looked at other influencers like, wow, when am I going to get to this level? Like, when am I going to be able to just... And then later on, I see this person is actually married to a damn rich person. And I'm like, okay, that
Makes sense.
And here am I putting this pressure on myself and these timelines on myself to, get to a certain place at a certain time. But I don't have that help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by being a bit more real. But
Yeah.
you need to draw the line because
Yeah.
the fact... If your audience are now going to unfollow you because you're being real or because I came on my stories without any makeup and they unfollow me, fine, unfollow me. You're not a real follower then.
Yeah.
And I don't need that type of audience.
Absolutely.
Like, just the other day, I was on TikTok and I've only started going into TikTok like the last 3 months.
TikTok is the place to be. I don't
I
want to
know.
lie. Those people are so
why.
genuine.
I don't know why I haven't been on there. I think been lazy, but I'm on there now. And somebody came for me. Like for the first
Hi,
time,
Bo.
somebody come for me.
Say
They're
what?
like, stop doing beauty reviews with a filter on. And I generally had no filter on. And I was like,
Yes, I am beautiful.
This is real.
yeah. So and then I was like, some people are like, no, I just leave it. I don't say anything. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna stand up for
One thing
myself.
about nature, I will
So
come for
that
you.
if somebody else wants to do the same thing, they will see Valencia as an influencer or a content creator that actually stands up for herself and does not take this crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you do keep quiet, people will keep on, you
Yeah.
know.
Speaking of trolls, how do you guys react?
Lock and
I
place.
normally... What did she say?
Lock and bless.
and
Block
bless.
and bless.
Love it.
I ignore.
Love it.
I delete the
Yeah.
comment and ignore.
I also ignore when I delete the comments. I can't stress myself about that because at the end of the day, we're all real human beings.
Yeah.
We all have feelings.
Yeah.
And just realizing that you don't owe anyone an explanation is just enough for
Teach
you.
me your ways.
And just keep going. I know, T, you get easily triggered. Like you go crazy.
But this
I'm
is
the
the
same.
thing. I have my social media. They know not to do that now.
yeah.
Because I did it from the beginning. If let's say I'm having a live and someone says something shady okay, I'm just gonna be honest. I was on a TV show called Uzalo, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And there were scenes, obviously kissing scenes and
Yeah.
guys, I have a life outside of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm engaged. My partner sometimes joins my lives.
Yeah.
You're not gonna ask me how it was kissing that person.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's so
said it
unfair.
from the big. I'm like, listen here. That's at 8:30
Yeah.
on that channel. When that's done, my name is Xaba. I
Yeah.
am not that other person.
Yeah.
So you are going to respect me because this is not Pilile's live.
Yeah.
This is Xaba's
Xaba's
live.
live.
Yeah.
Therefore, you will treat me with respect.
And they
Ever
stopped.
what? I will block you. I will.
What?
You set that boundary from the
Yeah.
get-go.
Yeah.
It's the same like bullies in real life. Are you gonna keep on being a punching bag to a bully, or you're gonna stand up?
But it's crazy. All these trolls literally have no life.
Yeah.
It's
They-
understanding you.
Yeah, they all project their insecurities on you. And I think just
Yeah.
knowing that, it's just enough peace for you to just keep it moving for yourself.
Yeah. Hurt people, hurt people.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah, that hit home.
Yeah.
Hurt people.
Hurt
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Okay, so I want to speak about something that you mentioned. You kept saying blessers when you were speaking.
Ooh.
Why are influencers associated with blessers?
It's that fine line that people think influencers are slay queens. That's where it starts.
But why?
But why
Because-
do you think they're slay queen?
I think it's because because we know how to not
You know how to what?
no we are very beautiful human beings. No, content creators and influencers are very beautiful human beings. Whatever sort of line or lane they choose for themselves, like whether it's beauty or whatever it is, a lot of slay queens look up to that because they also want to look like that. In a way.
Who's looking up to who? Is it the influencers looking up to the slay queens to look like the slay queens?
The slay queens looking up to the people that actually
slay queen.
I'm
Yeah,
also
let's
very
yeah.
confused.
What is a slay queen? Let's start there.
I think the word started off positively.
It
Yeah.
It
does.
was literally
Yes.
queens
Like
slaying
slaying in
in
their
their
lane.
lane.
Yes.
Exactly.
And now society has now attached this negative connotation to it,
the
which
stigma,
I
yeah.
honestly don't understand where it comes from.
Yeah.
I feel as though a slay queen can be an influencer. I feel a slay queen is a content creator, but I just don't understand why it's so negative now.
now.
Yeah.
I'm so nervous to share.
No, you can talk. You can talk.
Okay, so what I've noticed, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful women, I don't know why they're doing this, with a high following, are doing really shady things in the DM.
In the DM?
Yes. Like,
What type of shady things?
sorry, stop acting like you don't know.
Yeah.
There's no word for it though. So that's why it's fallen under the slay queen category. When I say they're doing shady things, they're asking guys for money,
Oh,
the DM, they're going
got
for
you.
people's husbands.
Yeah.
They're doing really, really shady things. So because there's no word for that, they just fell under the slay
Yes.
queen
Yeah.
category.
Okay.
So I think that's how it got there. But that's my opinion.
Okay.
You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think you're going towards like the right direction.
Yeah.
Because
I
there's
think-
no
yeah.
like what is it called when you are inboxing someone's husband and saying, let's
Hey,
go on a trip,
daddy.
hey daddy.
Yeah, take me to Cape Town.
Get me that Louis.
Why the word slay queen though?
Yes.
We need to find a new name.
Yes.
We need to find a new
Let's
name.
let's right now. What is it called? What is it called? We need to find a new thing.
But wasn't that originally the gold digger?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, it was. And then I guess
Till the gold diggers started looking like the slay queen.
yes,
And then that's where the
because a gold digger didn't necessarily look good
Right.
Yes.
before. Like you
Right,
could be
right,
a gold digger and doing your thing, but then
so you could say the gold diggers actually found a way to
they've dug the gold. They now look like gold.
They look like gold.
Yeah, they've upped their game.
Exactly. So how do we now separate though? Obviously, because we're having this conversation, how do we separate the influencer from this slay queen perception? Because we now know what a slay queen is, and I think, do we agree that it is a person who?
loves taking care of themselves? I feel like
Phela angithi it was good before.
yes, but
Now
I
it's
feel like
bad.
we need to change that
For
narrative
me, I
around
still
that
take it
word.
as good, honestly.
Really?
Honestly, I don't want to take that negative connotation that comes with, even though I kind of find it insulting when someone calls me a slay queen.
Yeah.
But
But why?
I
I
don't
think it's the
know
way.
why.
Yeah,
know
because
that
of
it's
how
now become a negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want that. You know, I don't want to
word
feel like
influencer
that.
has become negative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There was a point
Yes.
where I was not calling myself an influencer. I was like, I don't like that name. But I am an influencer.
Yeah.
So why not now?
I was even gonna say, should we find a better word
For slay queen?
for influencer? For
influencer.
like, let's do better. You know?
Yeah.
In terms of, because even like me, I don't say I'm an influencer. Hey, like I said, obviously when I'm with other influencers, it makes sense. Because when you say it in front of
Because
other
you
people,
understand.
yes, because
They'll never understand.
they'll just
yeah.
be like,
they just
"What- what is
undermine the
that?
actual.
What
they're
are
like,
you doing?
Like,
What? And especially older
Yeah.
people. What exactly? Influencing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so now in conclusion of this topic, how do we separate the influencer from the slay queen stigma?
yeah,
It's a difficult one.
yeah, it's a tricky one.
Is it our place to?
Yeah, that's just what I was going to say. I think
I don't think it is.
if people are genuinely looking online for authenticity or for,
That's it.
you know, to find people that they connect with,
Yes.
that's up to them.
Yes.
It's up to them to manage their feed,
Yes.
to manage what comes onto their feed, their toxicity levels. Self-preservation comes first. So if something isn't making you feel good, remove yourself
it.
from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I mentioned before, we all have the power to control what we see on our social media.
Yeah.
So, like Shan said, it's all about what you want to see. So, if you feel like this person is not a positive influence on you, and or if you feel like you've been putting this pressure on yourself because you've been following the Kardashians for too long, and now
Yeah.
you don't look like this one, and you don't have a lip kit like that one, or whatever the case may be, unfollow.
Yes.
And
The button
follow.
away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have the power of what you see. So don't complain about influencers. Don't complain about the negatives of social media, because you have the power. What you follow, what you like, what you
What you're
share,
feeding to yourself.
the algorithm will give you back all of that. So you start unfollowing, you start liking what's going to feed you positively, sharing things that make you happy,
Yeah.
and people that really influence you in a positive way and basically motivate you and inspire you.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you will be changing the whole game for yourself, and there's no need to blame any other person. So if you like to follow slay queens, and you're going to see slay
do
queens,
that.
yeah. If you want to follow authentic influencers, because
Yes.
there are a lot of authentic influencers,
Yeah.
and from the women that sit in this room, I can tell you right now, each and every one of them and us, should I say, we are authentic. What you see is what you get. So,
Yes.
I mean, if you're not following us, I mean, you should be right
Drop
now.
a handle. Drop a handle.
Following now.
Style your confidence now. Come on, drop your handle.
shanfourie.koza.
Okay.
Lindiwe _Dube.
Andi Mbhele.
And the real Xaba, baby. Okay. Last topic that I want us to talk about, right? How, and it touches on what you were just saying, how do we consume social media content in a positive way and not a comparative way where I see Lindy when I'm like, you know what, she doesn't deserve this, and you know the ideas that people get up to, the ones that are leading people to suicide, the ideas that are leading people to depression over a bag, over a shoe, over how do we consume social media and media content in a positive way as women?
Well, comparison is a thief of all joy.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
it's, and if you are stuck in a negative mindset or you're going through life and you're not in your best space, the biggest thing you need to do, like we were saying, is just go through your feed. Whatever triggers you,
Unfollow it. Yeah.
But if it's everything,
then just delete
offline.
You delete the app.
You need a break from social media.
Yeah.
Then take a break, do a detox.
yeah.
I feel like, and this would be advice for anybody else that's also considering being a content creator or an influencer, whatever the case may be. Your why is very important.
Yes.
So why do you want to be a content creator? Why do you want to be an influencer for beauty and fashion?
Is it because I saw
Yeah.
Valencia?
So why? And I think you need to consider certain points that will make you stand out from everybody, because there are a lot of influencers now, there are a lot of content creators, but why tea? And why am I starting? And I think once you remember your why, no matter how far down the journey you are, when you feel like giving up, or you feel like, why aren't I doing as well as Andi, or why aren't I getting this, you need to go back to your why. And then you realize that I am not Andi.
Yeah.
And our journeys are different.
Yeah.
I think you need to also have your head screwed on right in this industry, because if that bag brand does not have something that they want from you, then you do not have that. Andi has that.
And it's okay.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
Celebrate
And
each
I think
other.
that
Yeah.
I think that, you know, when you're starting out as well, you need to know that it's important not to just take anything on because you're going to get recognized for it, or you're going to get a free bag or the money, or whatever the case may be. I think you need to be intentional when it comes to what brands you take on, because the brand needs to basically resonate with you,
Yeah.
and stand for the same thing your brand does, because Style Your Confidence now has become a brand. That's my platform.
That's
so
your business.
what I take on needs to stand and align with what stands for Style Your Confidence now. And I think once we know that, then the comparison thing becomes easy. Her journey is her journey, my journey is mine. And you need to realize that once you start comparing, you are going to now move away from your why.
Yeah.
And you're going to move away from what's your purpose in life. We all have a purpose. And that's what you need to keep on reminding yourself. And each and every one of us are unique.
Yeah.
And I think that once we be grounded in ourselves, that is why I speak a lot about self-love. I think once you have that self-love and self-respect, you'll understand that, okay, fine, what Andi did was great. What Lindy did was great, you know, well done for her.
Yeah.
But what's meant for me will come.
Yeah.
And another thing that's important for me is that you must respect other people's blessings.
Yeah.
Once what you respect, you'll attract.
Especially because you don't know someone's journey.
Yeah, you don't.
You
Exactly.
see the
glitz, the glam,
glitz,
yeah.
the glamour, the lavishness of
You
it.
don't know
behind
what
the
they actually-
You don't know what they actually went through to actually
Yeah.
acquire what they have now
Yes.
received.
Absolutely.
And for you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's just obviously like mostly what Valencia has mentioned, and also just keeping it going for yourself. If something triggers you, remove yourself from the situation. Always choose like the healthier method for yourself. If you know you're a person that easily gets influenced by certain brands or certain things and you're not getting them right now, and like understand that everything has its time. And at some point you will get it, but at that moment, remove yourself from that situation, take care of your mental health, put yourself first, and then maybe go back to social media on that platform, you know? So I think for me, it's just that, like, just choosing better, healthier habits for yourself as a human being, because even influencers are human beings at the end of the day.
Yes.
We're not just people who are just selling things online. We are people that have day-to-day lives, 9-to-5 jobs, some of us. And we're paying bills the same as you. And you're just looking at the glitz and glam. And some of us just choose to share the good stuff with you guys without actually sharing, like, the moments when I'm crying at night, you know, about specific things. So, yeah, I think it's that. For you?
For me, it's just understanding that, for example, Uti's chapter 10 is not my chapter 2, you know. Like, for example, I might be at a certain level in life, whereas Uti has gone through that, and I'm seeing her thriving, but now I want to be there, not understanding that I'm still going through the process of getting to where she is now. So it's understanding that just keep putting in the hard work, and it might sound so cliche, but own lane, own pace.
Exactly.
Speaking of triggers, I want you to share one thing that's ever happened on social media, and you're like, damn, I'm going to start. Mine was, I don't want to cry. My mom was in hospital with COVID in 2021. And you know the peak where it was RIP, like every day. And I was tasting this drink. You know, there's this popular drink that all the influencers drink.
I see it.
Yes, it's from Woolies, I think.
San Pellegrino.
It has good flavors,
Pellegrino.
yes. So I'm tasting this drink and I didn't like it. So I share my reviews, obviously. I shared my review on Instagram because that's what I do. If I like something, I'll tell you. If I don't like something, because I was seeing hype around it. And obviously, I'm trying to keep myself busy. I'm going through the most. I post that drink and I was like, oh, I don't actually like it. Like, it's not for me. And someone DM'd me and they were like, why do you care? It's not like your mother made it.
What?
Wild.
I am going through hell
already.
And the thing is, that person doesn't know.
That's the problem.
And you know, I had to reel myself back in. I was going in. I was, do you even know? And then I was like, wait a minute. This person doesn't know what I'm going through.
Yeah.
This person has no clue. So I have to choose to be kind.
Yeah.
But that was by far, I will never, I cried so hard. And I was like, do you understand how much I wish my mom made this for me?
Yeah.
I would give anything to have her make it for me.
Sure.
So that was my worst social media experience. Like, worst.
Damn. Now
Shan?
I'm trying to think, what's my worst social media experience?
For you?
Well, my worst social media experience was when I tried to speak up about diversity and have a voice, and there was a small group of women who were disgruntled with a brand that I was affiliated with, and there was a severe lack of diversity in the brand, but they took a lot of their justified anger out on me, and yeah, it was one of the hardest times in my life. I went through a complete cyberbullying attack, which went on for weeks on end. And yeah, it hurt me to my core, because like I know
Your intentions were good.
And I've always been somebody who's been inclusive. I mean, from the start of even joining my this influencer journey, that's been one of the biggest highlights for me. You know, I grew up in a Mshlanga bubble at a very white school, didn't have many friends of color, and that's always been something that's been like incredible for me. And then to go through that was awful, and the messages and DMs and things that I got on my platform and in my DMs and to my brands and were literally soul destroying. What got me through that was my followers and their belief in me, and they had been with me on a journey.
They know you.
And they knew me. And the brands that did stand by me. But
You lost a lot, I'm sure, but I'm sure you gained even more.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
These are personal, guys.
I have not had any of those. I have not had people that came for me directly or bullied me or whatever the case may be. But I must say, I've had, I don't even know how to even explain it, but I've had other influencers, other Indian influencers, sad to say, that have actually spoken about me behind my back. And obviously I heard through the grapevine. But obviously something that I couldn't address because I've heard it through, you know. But, you know, speaking about or going through something like saying we want more representation and more diversity, and to have people of the same race speak about you when you've reached a certain level or gained a certain whatever it may be. So basically I was chosen for quite a big brand, a global brand, to be one of their ambassadors. And so this group of people were like, you know, this brand isn't even working with Indian people, and all of the Indian people they go and find this person.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even know, like when I came into this, I was very naive because I didn't know much, you know. And I only found out about this like months, if not like a year after, but these people were smiling and talking to me.
Sure.
that's the worst.
That's the worst.
And
Yeah.
so and so these are the people that are the very people that brands don't want to work with because of their toxicity and their negativity. And that for me was also very hurtful, because whilst we're trying to mend something and make you know, a stand and try to make a change when it comes to the representation, there you are speaking about
10
your
steps
people.
backwards.
Exactly. And so that is why I want to mention it as well. It's something that we should, you know, you should think before you speak.
Yeah.
Because you will be shooting yourself on the foot at the end of the day. So for me, that was something that was hurtful, but also very disappointing.
Yeah.
I've not had any trolls, thank God.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
I haven't had much. I wouldn't really say it was triggers, but you could say, especially on Twitter, when you are voicing your opinion and people take it in a very different way and they attack you and your personal life, you could say that has been one of the triggers. If not, I've been seeing it in other people's TLs, and it's quite personal to home. Maybe like we're discussing rape and someone is voicing out their own story, and then someone
Just
decides to take it lightly. It's a trigger to some of us who are actually like rape survivors, you know. You never know, but I think it's just that. Otherwise, I think that's what
is this a
mostly triggered
personal
me.
story?
Kind of, not necessarily. I wouldn't.
Okay, you don't want to dive.
Yeah, I don't want to dive.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, same as Lindiwe as well. I've never really experienced it firsthand, but it's also on Twitter. For me,
That
it's
blue
just,
app.
I don't even go there.
yeah. I think it's also similar to what you said about during COVID and your mom was going through. Yeah, for me it was my gran, and someone actually commented on a tweet of mine that I made of my gran, and it was very disrespectful. And at that time, they didn't know that she was literally fighting for her life. So it didn't really blow up, but I saw it and it triggered me. So yeah.
Enough with the negatives.
Yeah,
Closing a positive that's happened for your social media. For me, a lot has happened. Hey, a lot of good stuff. It's the partnerships with the brands that I've worked with. How much they believe in me and the money they spend on that. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you. We love it. We want more. Shan.
Yeah, the same. I mean, I'm so grateful just for every brand and every opportunity that's come my way. It humbles me so much. Like every time I sit back, look back and look at the last 5 years of my life, I'm ever grateful. And then also to have the platform to be involved in the NPOs that I am and try and spread the word and build a safe house. First of 3 in the KZN, upper KZN area.
That's beautiful.
So,
Please invite us. We'll come and influence.
Please.
That's fine.
Yes. Okay.
It's the same for me. I feel so blessed to have worked with the brands that I have worked with. We were mentioning how we feel like we don't get certain things in certain brands, but I must say that I'm very grateful for the ones that I did get, because when they did come, they came in the right time and it was the right brand. So I'm grateful for that. Another really great moment was when I was featured in the Glamour magazine.
Woo!
The Dove influences. Yeah, that was really fun. And when I got to travel for the first time as an influencer.
That's incredible.
I got to go to New York in 2020, just
Amazing.
before COVID could hit.
Love it.
And that was the most amazing experience because that was like my dream city. And and what else? Yeah, I think that's
Well
about it. I know there's a lot more to come.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
I think for me, it's also the same with everyone. You know, all the brands that have, that they have approached me, and all the partnerships that I've had. And also just knowing that I could travel with these brands and everything, And funny enough, like my first flight was with a brand. Like they flew me.
Really?
Yeah, so like that was really cool. But like now I keep taking them nonstop. Like it feels like an Uber. So like so I think just having traveling opportunities with brands is just really nice, and knowing that I could work with brands that I relate to too has just been incredible. Yeah.
Last but not least.
I mean, the same for
Sentiments,
me.
yeah.
I'm just so grateful for where I am in life right now. And I remember, I think this was 2020. I felt as though nothing was happening for me. And I think as influencers, you get to that point whereby you feel as though you're not getting the recognition. You feel as though you're putting in the work. No one is seeing you. The brands are not approaching you. But then as time went by, I just kept on putting in the work, and now I can see the fruits of my labor. I mean, it's not where I would like for it to be, but I can see that, okay, I'm going somewhere. And I'm so grateful for the brands that have approached me and the ones that are thinking of approaching me. I mean, and thanks, man. And thanks to God. More especially. I'm just so grateful. Yeah.
Can I just say one more thing though?
Yes.
As much as I'm grateful for the brands, that's been great moments, I'm actually really grateful for meeting incredible influencers like you.
I had the same thought. I was at
I can't say I've really had like good female relationships because they always like fell out somehow.
Yeah.
But recently, in this era of my life, I've just attracted such genuine women, and that are in the industry, believe you me, and that have the same intentions as me and the same frequency, same goals, and it's just been so pleasant and incredible. And so I'm just grateful to have met these women.
Yeah.
And they're from Durban, and so I feel like shining the light on them as well is so important, so that other brands and other people can get to know who these authentic women are.
Speaking to that point, I genuinely just wanted to say, if there's one thing we can do better as influencers, if you feel like a brand is not going to work for you and you say no,
refer.
I know.
Yes,
It's
that's it.
okay.
It's not a competition.
It's not
it's
your
really
money.
not a competition.
If it's not for you, it could be for someone else in your circle. And that's what this is about. It's about keeping your circle open.
But also, T, thank you so much for actually doing this podcast.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Spaces like these that we need as women to actually speak about the game and the influencing world in Durban. So thank you so much for this.
Shining the light.
so much, guys. Like, you're making me so happy.
When I saw the invites, I was like, wait, what?
No way. We have to wrap up, guys. We could go on and on. We should do a lunch or something. Please.
Or another podcast.
Yes! Thank you for keeping the circle open, because if you weren't keeping your circle open, you would have said, no, I am not going to East Coast Radio to do this. Exactly.
And they say you don't catch blessings with a closed hand.
Yeah. Come on now. Thank you so much, guys. Drop your handle one more time for people to follow you, and we do hope to see you soon.
At shanfourie.koza.
At Style Your Confidence Now.
At Lindiwe_Dube.
At Andi Mbhele.
And at The Real T Xaba, baby. See you on the next one.
Wait, that was a camera?